Howdy y'all, welcome back to the studio. It's Dylan with Illustrations. I wanted to take a moment before we get started here today to thank all those who came out to show support for the channel and have tuned into the show. The first episode of the Art Hallway was a great success. To those who left feedback and have subscribed, and to all the new viewers, I wanted to say hello. I greatly appreciated all the feedback that you've given me. And I encourage you to leave more feedback, whether it's just ideas that you've had about the piece that we're doing, suggestions for new pieces that we can do together, or just ideas to make this a better show. I would greatly appreciate any feedback that you give me. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Today we're going over another coloring book page for my daughter. The subject for today's video is going to be Snow White, the classic film from 1937 from Disney. I thought it would be cool as an animation and cartooning buff to go over a classic like this, and I thought it would be appropriate to introduce a Disney princess to the rotation of coloring book pages for my daughter. This one's going to be fun for me, as it's the first time in a while that I've really tackled something with realistic body proportions and realistic proportions across the board, as Snow White definitely leaned more into that than more of the cartoony elements that I'm used to. If you want to know more about that, you can check out the Sonic the Hedgehog video. So this is going to be a good challenge, and the way I look at it is you're always looking for a challenge. Even if you miss the mark with what you're doing, it builds skills for next time, and you'll have better tools for the next time you take a challenge like this. Let's get into it. I referenced a few different sources for this scene. I Googled a couple posters, and this book, the Walt Disney Film Archives, really helped me out. It was great to read the history and get inspiration for the forest from this. I would recommend it to any cartoon history or Disney fan, as it will give you some great inspiration for your own work. The writing was as engaging as the concept art from the films, and it did a great job at describing the motivations of the Disney company as they were making the film. Reading of how Walt performed a one-man show of Snow White to the team as a pitch for the film was really fascinating. I don't think we would have an anecdote quite like that without him. And it was a great example of how creativity was a driving force from everyone in the company. The book captured my attention and sparked my imagination, and I think I'll do the same for you too. For example, for the scene though, this still really helped me out in forming what the forest would look like, especially with the trees here. So let's get into the drawing. Starting with the materials I used Strathmore mixed media paper, a Pentel 0.7 mechanical graphing pencil, and Soccer micron pens. You can use whatever you can get your hands on, but I'm comfortable with these tools and they are what I like the best. You'll find out what works best for you as you draw along. When it comes to the composition, you're going to start by breaking down the picture into shapes of the characters and the background elements. And you will want to start here definitely with Snow White, as it will help you get a firm grasp on the scale of the rest of the characters and background elements in this scene. We're taking inspiration from the movie, especially the scene after she goes running through the forest and comes to rest on the forest floor. She has some animal friends that she's attending to surrounding her, and we will fill out the page accordingly to fit that scene. I also took the opportunity to add a title to this piece. You do not have to when you are doing this, but I always like the opportunity to practice lettering styles. I find them all incredibly neat and unique, and I wanted to do my best to practice the storybook style that you see at the beginning of the movie. I remember having a lot of fun with all the elements with this piece. The Disney style really had a lot of magic there, and I think that's why I could engage with it as well as I did. Even the most difficult parts were really enjoyable to try and figure out, and I think it has a lot to do with the way that these characters are stylized. It was really engaging, which surprised me. This has the opportunity to kind of wear on you, especially with how much I had to go back and re-edit everything. But I remember just being incredibly engrossed with what I was doing, especially with this deer here. You'll see over the course of this video that I spent a lot of time erasing and redrawing and erasing and redrawing to make him fit with the rest of the style, and it just, I don't remember ever having a bad time with it. What stood out to me as I was researching for this project was the ambition of the original Snow White film. Disney and company really had it stacked against them back in the day when they were making this picture. It being the first animated feature-length film from the Disney company coming out in 1937. The environment that Disney found himself in could not be less helpful to realizing that ambition. His reputation up to the point was known for 7 to 10 minute long cartoon shorts. He wasn't only asking that his audiences would hold their attention for 7 times longer than what they were used to, but being in the Great Depression, he was asking them to spend their hard-earned money on this film. There was a lot of things stacked against him from that standpoint, and the pressure to succeed must have been intense. It's something that you can easily take for granted, especially with how big the Disney Corporation is today, but at the time, it probably sounded incredibly risky. Back to the piece at hand, you can see how it's been filled out, especially there with Snow White. The rest of it is taking a little bit more time, which is surprising, as Snow White is probably the most complicated character there. That being said, it's still probably best practiced to start with that most complicated figure in the piece, as it will be the one that's taking the most time to really get down the details properly. After that, the rest of it should come together quite easily and quite quickly. I wouldn't say Snow White is my favorite Disney movie of all time. I think it would probably have to go to Monsters, Inc. Just the commentary on fear and joy really hits with me. And I would like to hear more about what your favorite animation is, or favorite movie is. Is it Disney? Is it DreamWorks? Let me know in the comments below. I remember having a lot of fun with these trees. I was trying out a new style with the bark on the trees, and I spent a lot of time on my walks trying to figure out the best way to hit the bark, how that would look. And I really liked the way that I did it this time. I've always had a real challenge with trying to make trees and to make them interesting, but I really like the way that especially this tree here turned out with the plates stacked on top of one another. filling out the lettering. Again, I was trying to do my best to bring an original idea to the storybook method that the movie uses for its title screens. And I really enjoyed the way that this turned out. I thought it was pretty unique and individual of itself, with paying homage to the inspiration. I even tried my best to add an apple there as like a punctuation or a artistic flourish, and I thought it all turned out really well. Now we're on to inking. I remember doing a lot of different things when it came to pen utilization here, different types of strokes, and definitely doing my best to, work at differences in pressure. I remember having a lot of fun with it, especially, again, with this tree on the right here. I'll show you shortly, but I definitely went a little overboard into not just coloring book page, but attempting more to make it look like a professional illustration with the cross-hatching. I really like the way that it turned out. It definitely had Winnie the Pooh, shepherd thing kind of going on with it, and I really liked how it turned out. I definitely would not dissuade you from taking those sorts of challenges. In my case, it's practice for bigger projects, and you should probably be using the same sort of ideas too. If you're taking a challenge or a risk, it's definitely setting you up for your bigger projects down the road. So if you see something that you want to try, I definitely encourage you to attempt it. It may turn out not as well as you'd hope, but it definitely will set you up for a better experience the next time that you practice it. So let's just sit back and watch as I fill this out, and we'll get to the cross-hatching soon. here is me attempting cross-hatching here on this tree. Again, I really like the way that this turned out. But what you're doing here is you are just layering lines, is essentially what it is. Swift strokes layered on top of one another and perpendicular to one another to invoke a sort of dimensionality to it. So it'll get thicker as you're trying to play with the shadow and thinner as light hits the area that you are working on. And it's just supposed to, bring a sort of 3D element into it when you do not have access to color or you are actively choosing against using color. I really enjoy cross-hatching. In my opinion, it's the best way to add texture to a piece. I think it goes a lot further than even just coloring. Again, this is my opinion. You can choose to do color with it, but this here I just really enjoy. So sit back and enjoy as I finish out the rest of this piece. all finished. I had a lot of fun with this one, like I've said a couple times here, especially with the trees, the leaves, and the lettering here. I thought I did a pretty good job on. It's quite an improvement on the last time that I did letters or cross hatching. There's a couple nitpicks here too. I didn't really care for the way that Snow White's dress seems to kind of defy gravity here, and the deer's smile is just a tad too big. But all in all, I think this is a great improvement over the last attempt I've made on all these sorts of elements in this piece here. If you liked what you saw here today, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you're working on too. If you liked it, hit like, share, subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram and Substack and Wanna Create. If you want to reach out to me for work, you can find me at my email, which I've linked below. And until next time, draw something.